Very good morning once again, dear students, youths, and friends. Today, in our library classes and in the character building process, the particular topic on values to imbibe, we should discuss just one very important character quality which we call common sense. And surprisingly, for most of us, common sense is very uncommon. Even those who are really uncommon people, they also seriously lacked in common sense. Just take for example Albert Einstein, the world-renowned scientist. We know how much intelligent he had been and how much famous also he became within his own lifetime as a scientist. Now he had two cats and they wanted to just to go in and out in his room, but he could not keep his door open as uh, it was too much cold wind coming inside, and so he just went on thinking how to solve the problem that the door would remain closed, but the cats could go in out and out without any problem or without disturbing Einstein. And among the two cats, one was very fat and big, another one was small and thin. So he just devised, right, a very innovative method or just plan to solve this, to work out this problem. So he one day called the carpenter and asked him to make two holes on the door. One big hole for the big cat and another small hole for the small cat. At this, the carpenter was utterly surprised. Using his common sense, he could know that it was not necessary to make two holes. He said the same thing to Einstein. Einstein countered, saying, "Why? There are two cats, and one is fat, big, another is small and thin. So just did not he think the carpenter that there must be two holes for two of them?" The carpenter smiled and said, "Sir, if there is a big hole, from that hole both the big cat and the small cat could enter freely without any problem." Yeah, Einstein understood the great fallacy in his thinking process, and she lacked just in common sense. So this is how common sense is used by very common people like farmers, daily laborers, and those who are hardworking men. They can use their common people, men of higher thoughts, and both of them, men of just high intellect and all the time focused on the higher ideas or thoughts. They are not able to just concentrate much on our day-to-day course, and that is why sometimes they behave peculiarly. That doesn't mean that each one of us, the average, that people, maybe educated people, we are not actually anything better than Einstein or such great persons because they use their brain, intellect for something much higher, much greater than we can even imagine. So now there will switch over to another story which will say how common sense or use of common sense is very important and only our clear thinking whenever we are doing or planning any work we should think clearly and always see the pros and cons of each and every work which we do and then if we act accordingly then only we can work wisely using our common sense. People they go to the astrologer to change their fortune, but they do not know that they have to do hard work. Students they go to the astrologer with their parents or sometimes to the doctor for asking some medicine by which they can learn quickly and this is the thing. Doctor also gives them some medicine, but the student or the parent or even or the teacher do not know, does not know that if the student studies regularly and completes his homework, prepares and learn them properly and thoroughly and with concentration of mind, then he or she does not require to go to the astrologer. So we know if we work, then we can just get the fruit out of it. If we work using our brain or work intelligently, then we can gain just more fruit, more result out of less work. Means common sense will lead us to the minimum input of our energy, of our just intelligence, and also of our resources for doing any work or achieving something. Common sense will always prompt us to go for things which are easily available and also very cheap. And if we start doing wherever we start acting wherever we are without just first demanding or planning for big things or just big requisitions, then we will see we can make the best use of each and everything, including my own life, isn't it? Including my own life, own just intelligence. These actually things are prompted by just use of common sense in every moment of life. There was a tortoise who wanted to become the wisest person in the world by collecting all the knowledge available in the world, and then he would put them inside a huge gourd, empty gourd, and just tie its mouth, just seal its mouth with just hard paper in such a manner that nobody could open it except himself. So when he thought he had gathered all the knowledge there was in the world, he just sealed the opening of the gourd tightly and then tied a rope around the neck of the goat, and then he just hung it rather just over just around his neck, tied the rope around his neck also, and just hung it over his stomach. And then he wanted to climb a tree and hide it inside the branches of the tree. But every time he wanted to go up with the goat, hanging over his belly. He fell down, he slipped down, he tried again slipped, and he was actually out of weight. That how to successfully go up then? Isn't it, it is not that he did not go up just before that up any tree, until he did not climb that. Then why is it happening when he was trying and falling repeatedly? He just stood perplexed with the gourd, yeah, resting on the gourd with his belly. All of a sudden, he could hear a sound of huge laughter. He looked back and saw hunter was standing just behind him, and seeing his act, a foolish act, the hunter was just bursting into laughter. At this, the tortoise got angry and said, Why was he laughing? Uh, just didn't know what the tortoise was going to do. Anyway, without showing any interest about what the tortoise was going to do, the hunter advised, "Dear friend, if you want to climb up the tree with the goat, then why did not he hang the goat just over his back, and climb?" With this, we can say small piece of advice of common sense, the tortoise could understand, though he thought he had gathered all the just important, tough knowledges of the world. He lacked in this simple, common piece of advice called common sense. And this is what is happening with most of us every day. The main reason is that we do not, in most cases, we do not think about the consequences when we are doing some act guided by our impulses, or sometimes misguided by other people. Our dependence on every aspect of our life, and especially when we fail to just complete our task, complete the assignment, whether as an office staff or whether as a student, then resort to various uh, just deceptive methods, props, and go for help or seek help from those who themselves are also suffering from this simple piece of, you can say, character quality called common sense. So before going seeking for help next time, you just think twice, and then just determine whether your work or your thought or your particular behavior is going to do good to you and others, or it is only good for you and it may be harmful for others. If it is so, never do it, because out of greed and out of impulses, whenever we do, we severely lack in common sense, and instead of just getting the best desired result, only disaster waits for us. So we have to be very much careful while acting or behaving or taking any decision. Always our common sense will guide us, and we must act accordingly, and then we'll see that our life will be a blessed one, and we can really enjoy true happiness and true success in life. Thank you everyone once again.